Florida Congressman Greg Steube, member of the House Ways and Means Committee and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and the House Subcommittee on Trade. Congressman Steube, such a pleasure to have you. Great to have you today on such a busy day. Let's start internationally before we go back to the Schumer shutdown. You know, we just saw President Trump in Malaysia, the big, welcome for him over there. Of course, this is not just about trade. It's also about diplomacy because he's coming off a really important win in the Middle East. Russia, Ukraine, a little bit thornier, but for him to sit face to face to Xi Jinping is going to be incredible, I think, and send a message to not just Asia, but also potentially Kim Jong-un, who might be watching, and Putin's watching that closely. Tell us about his style of diplomacy here in the second term and how powerful these images are for others who are looking at America and America first.
Well, he's a true leader of our country and a true leader in the world. World leaders all across the world are looking to him for leadership on issues and what historic trade deals and peace deals that he's brokered and put in place. He's the peace president more than any other in recent history, and the trade deals that he's bringing to America to put America first and put our economy back on a level where it hasn't been because of the Biden administration for years. So he's a true leader. Other leaders in the world respect him. They go to him to broker deals, peace deals, trade deals. All of this benefit America and American workers.
Yeah, and he does it. He's such a machine, working so hard here and also back here at home. What's happening with the government shutdown now, day 27, it's really starting to really concern a lot of Americans. We have the SNAP benefits, the food assistance. That just days away, Congressman, November 1st, 40 million people. The Agriculture Department had to put it up. They spell it out. It is the Democrats who have voted 12 times not to food the food stamp program. Here's Speaker Johnson. He's been coming out every day, and this is what he had to say just a short time ago.
There has to be a pre-existing appropriation for the contingency fund to be used, and Democrats blocked that appropriation when they rejected the clean continuing resolution. So the way to make this stop immediately is we just need a handful. We need 5 more Democrats in the Senate to do the right thing, wake up and say, I'm going to say no to the Marxist far left pressure, and I'm going to do what's right by the people, the 42 million Americans in this country who rely upon this essential nutrition assistance.
And the big question is, can we find 5 Democrats to do just that, or will the American people be suffering yet again, the 13th vote today?
I mean, we haven't in the last 30 days, which is why I've called on Thune to do away with the filibuster and just Republicans pass this clean CR. The pressure and the pain for Democrats is going to be really felt at the end of this month as SNAP benefits aren't being poured out, as military service members aren't being paid, as a lot of your government workforce aren't going to be able to get paid. Thankfully, Trump was able to move money around within the Department of Defense to pay our military service members at the 2-week mark. But now as we walk into the 30-day mark, it's going to be very difficult for these people to get paid, and you're going to start seeing the effects. You're going to start seeing those effects with SNAP benefits. You're going to start seeing those effects with military service members getting paid, and this is all because of the Democrats. They always want to say the Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the White House, yet what they fail to mention is the filibuster rule requires 60 votes in the Senate, so they have to go to Chuck Schumer to get those 7 votes in order to fund the government and to have the government work. So we keep calling on them to pass the CR. I don't see any resolution this week. I think once we move into November, you're going to start seeing some real political pressure as their constituents aren't getting SNAP funding and they're not getting military service member pay.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously now getting very real, and we'll see how they can continue on to try and sell this message, a message that they're selling in New York, at least in Queens with AOC and Bernie Sanders was for Mondami for mayor. You know, in one way, a lot of people are looking at this congressman and saying, okay, if he wins, which is likely looking like it will happen, people will leave. They'll go to states like Florida, other places, business will leave. But there are these new House Republicans who are looking for the Justice Department to look at Mondami closer, even his citizenship. Randy Fine in Florida is one of them. Do you think this should be pursued by the DOJ? And if there is any irregularities, potentially a way that Mondami could be deported? We've seen him posing with the imam in Brooklyn, who is a co-conspirator of the 1993 deadly World Trade Center bombing.
Yeah, you thought the influx of New Yorkers to Florida was bad during COVID. Wait till this guy gets elected and his far left communist policies start getting instituted in New York, New Yorkers are going to flee again to Florida, and you're going to see a huge outsurge of New Yorkers coming to Florida. If there's things there that the DOJ can investigate, I'm sure they're looking at that. But what really needs to happen is Americans need to reject their policies and don't elect far left socialist communists to be mayors and leaders in our country. If New York would wake up and see that those policies are not good for New Yorkers, then they would reject Mamdani, elect somebody that's not as far left and communist and socialist, because they know what's best for their state and their city. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. And what you're going to see is a ton of New Yorkers and businesses fleeing New York to coming to the great state of Florida.
Yeah, we have been there. We know what that feels like. Don't New York or Florida, though, as I remember
That's right.
when that was first happening. Florida Congressman Greg Steube, it's been a moment. Good to have you back here today, sir, on Newsline.